I have a baby daughter of 2 years old, and I have a lot of anxiety about what can happen to her after after I after I saw I watched on television, for example, Israel Facts too, and the moment she goes, for example, to the school for kids. I don't know in English the name of in Italian is asilo nido, but
Okay.
I don't know in English. And
Like
I
elementary
always think
school.
I always think, what if something happens to her? What if something bad happens to her? Something very bad happens to her, or the other fact about Indy Gregory, the English girl that has a genetic pathology. And um, and I think that it's not easy to do the work about that, because if I do the work about that, in a way, it's like I'm not caring of her. Without
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, it's like I'm not caring enough of her. And how would you deal with that, Todd?
Okay. That's a good question. Yeah, that is something that happens with certain topics when you're doing the work. In some ways, it happens with a lot of topics. And that is the fear that if I do the work on something, like I don't want something bad to happen to her, and then, oh my gosh, what I know there's some turnarounds, like I do want something bad to happen to her, or I'm willing for something bad to happen to her. Like that sounds really scary. And
A
and I will
bit
stop.
scary, yes.
I will just stop right there. Don't do any work, right? So, and that's a legitimate concern. And so the solution lies in how you're holding the work, how you're doing the work, and specifically how you're holding the turnarounds. Because it's not, I think when we begin doing the work, it's easy to go from one thing and that I'm believing, and then just turn to the opposite, and only the opposite is true. And now this original statement is not true. And I'm flipping from one side to the other side. But in this case, that would be, that doesn't feel right. That you can tell right away. That doesn't feel right. Of course, I don't want something bad to happen to her. But all the work is doing is saying, let's find the balance here. Um, right now, I'm overly attached to nothing bad should happen to her. I'm so much attached to that that I have anxiety even when nothing bad is happening. I'm worrying about the future. I'm in a state of stress inside of myself. So that's like too much attachment. It's like I'm carrying too much. I'm carrying too much. So much so that I'm stressed about it. Now, that doesn't mean that I should care zero. No, that would be also not balanced, would not be right. It doesn't feel true. But when I do the work, I go from, yeah, I don't want something bad to happen to her. And I question it. I see how stressful it is. And then I come to the turnaround. I do want something bad to happen to her. And it sounds crazy. Or maybe I take the easier turnaround. I'm willing for something bad to happen to her. And even that is very strong. So I have to be gentle with myself to find, okay, I don't have to stop caring about her. But this turnaround is saying, can you care just a little bit less? Just enough less that I'm not going into anxiety about it. And then I find the place where, yeah, I care about her. I will do everything I can to keep her safe, and I do care, but I'm not going crazy about it either. I also accept, you know, there's many things in life I cannot control, and I will do everything from my side, but whatever happens, happens. And so, this for me is using the turnaround to balance the original statement. Instead of I care so much that I'm stressed, or I don't care at all and I'm cold and distant. Somewhere in between is this place where I care, but I don't care. I love her, and I also trust life that it will be exactly as it should be. It's like saying, I will control everything in my power, but I will not worry about what I cannot control. And so you have to find this for yourself when doing the work. But the idea is that if you can find that balance point between the original statement and the turnaround, then you can often find a place that's bigger than either one. It's like your mind has to expand to contain these opposites at the same time. And as Byron Katie says, it's not, she doesn't call it the work for nothing. It takes some stillness to to find this. And you may find it, you may not find it, you may find a little bit, then it may go back and forth. All of that is okay. But it's the exploration. It's like what you're looking for is a more peaceful way of thinking about your daughter. That's all. You're looking for a way that works for you, and you'll find that. You will recognize when it feels more peaceful. You'll also recognize when it feels more stressful. So if the turnaround starts to feel more stressful than the original thought, back off of the turnaround. That's not true for you. So find a place where it is true for you. And that's how I like to do the work. I use that analogy of uh, feeling your way in the dark and just that game of warmer colder. It's like warmer warmer and oh no, too hot, and then colder. You can feel your way. Like this turnaround is helping. I feel the openness happening. Oh no, too much of the turnaround, it's making me feel pain, let me back off. And then but there's the sweet spot right there where that turnaround is doing good medicine. Like it's exactly like a medicine. You give too much of the medicine to the patient, they will die. If you don't give any medicine to them, they will still be sick. So you have to give the right dosage, and the dosage is important even with a turnaround.
I have to say that you have an answer for everything, Todd. I don't know how
Just
you
make it up
do,
on the
but
spot. Well, the cool thing is the work addresses everything in a way, and but the principles are the same in a way, no matter what the situation. So yeah, maybe I do.